Hello everybody, Mountain RC here. Thanks for stopping by the channel, and as always, I appreciate all of the support. In today's video, we are featuring my custom paint work that I did on the FMS F-16 70mm EDF jet. Now, the scheme that I chose to use was the Colorado Air National Guard Minutemen scheme. This was a flight demo team that started way back in 1947, and in 2006, to celebrate the 50-year anniversary of the Minutemen demo team, they repainted an F-16 with the old scheme from the Minutemen back in the day. I loved it so much that I wanted to try my hand at it, see if I can get it close. So this video is kind of a walkthrough of how I achieved the paint scheme and what I used to get it ready for maiden flight. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. So starting with the clear coat, I used a foam brush and I applied 3 coats of the Minwax polyacrylic clear gloss. I waited 2 hours between each of the coats to make the foam harden, to give it a nice surface for the paint and the decals to adhere to, and it made the foam on the plane look less like foam and more like a real scale aircraft. The next step was applying the base coat. I chose to use a Rust-Oleum Ford gray color. I just made sure that I stayed 10 to 12 inches away from all the parts that I was spraying down to make sure that I didn't get any runs in the paint, because as we all know, fixing runs in paint is a pain in the butt. There's a lot of sanding in your future if you do something like that. So the next step in the process was adding the trim color, and what I decided to use there was the Rust-Oleum 2-time paint and primer in a red apple gloss color. And what I did is I got some frog tape and I just kind of de-tagged the frog tape by just sticking it to my shirt, my pant leg, just so it wasn't so tacky, so when I apply it to the plane and I go to remove it, it doesn't pull all the paint off with it. So I masked off the areas that I wanted to keep safe, just did really light coats of the red until I got the desired coverage, let it dry completely, and then when I went to go pull the frog tape off, I just made sure that when I pulled it off, I pulled it 180 degrees back over itself, so you get a nice clean line when you pull the tape off and you're not pulling paint off with it. So the next step was applying the vinyl decals to the plane itself, which pretty much had little to do with me and more to do with my wife. She has a Silhouette Cameo vinyl cutting machine, and she is a pro at using that thing, so all I had to do was just give her the measurements and the files of what I wanted, and she made the magic happen by printing off these amazing decals and getting them applied properly, and man, it turned out so sweet. I couldn't have done it without her. So the last and final step before I take her out to Maiden is just to seal in all of the decals. So I used a Rust-Oleum gloss clear coat and just gently sprayed it over the entire plane just to kind of seal everything in to make sure that nothing is going to come off while I'm flying. It looks sweet. I'm so proud of how she turned out. So now it's time for the Maiden. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Well, that'll do it for today's video, and I hope you enjoyed watching the process of painting this plane and getting it ready for Maiden and the Maiden flight. If you have any questions about the paint process or this plane itself, please leave it in the comments below. I answer every single one of them. I appreciate you interacting with me, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mountain RC.